Hello, how are you? True. All right, welcome to another edition of X Feed. What's up? My name is the Schiller. I've been spending like the last 2-ish hours working on a video that's coming out a little bit later. So if you don't have notifications on, well, please put them on. Thank you so much. The video is going to be about Futureverse, talking about kind of a recap, a little bit about the Root Network. It's somewhat like of an overview / highlighting certain things. And then I realized after I finished the first one that I didn't even highlight the Readyverse trailer that launched yesterday. There's so many things going on. Holy sweet mother of pearl, but we still got to do X Feed, and that's why we're here. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what happened yesterday within the Fluf world space. Yo, LT, NFT, what's going on? We are going to be talking a little bit about a huge pivot from a massive coin that was on blast that is now moving elsewhere, some of the ramifications potentially from that, just observations within the space, looking at general news, all that good stuff. If you're excited for this video, please give me a like. Hell yeah. Okay, so NFT news-wise, Globe and Mail, absolutely nothing going on there. Atari's on-chain game hacked, not coin to launch story-driven Lost Dogs game, nifty newsletter, and then the wild one of the day, Immutable announces closure of Immutable X marketplace. What the hell is going on? This happened 2 days ago. Normally I see everything on the timeline. I didn't see a single person talk about this, but Immutable has recently announced the closure of its Immutable X marketplace beginning on August 13th, with the site ceasing operations entirely by September 27th. The Immutable marketplace was initially launched to demonstrate the capabilities of the Immutable SDK, and is now redirecting focus towards supporting third-party marketplaces rather than maintaining its own trading platform. So I guess the question with this one is, does that mean that we are going to see something like Mark get shut down within like the Root ecosystem? Is this going to happen elsewhere? You know, you read the headline and I was like, oh my God, that's really bad. But of course, there's Token Trove and other parties out there. So I don't think, that's not too bad at all. Yo, Pony Boys, what the hell of it is going on? I heard Endgame is coming back. Dude, where is Redbeard been? Why is Beanie talking about an LL stock? I saw that yesterday and I started having PTSD about that. Don't know if you saw that too, but holy smokes, good to see you. Now, Web3 news headlines just on the Google here: unlocking mass adoption, the role of omni-chain infrastructure in Web3. Again, world's going to be multi-chain, omni-chain, yada, yada, yada. Bloomberg, crypto market rallies, the same thing as yesterday. Again, news headlines are absolutely garbage. Now, do you guys remember Lonely Aliens? I'm just a lonely alien in the world. Wait to find my other lonely alien. See, this is why we don't do music, to be honest. Where the hell is Jen when you need it? Okay, so, but they have over 250 million Giphy views, which is kind of crazy because I've never seen anybody in my entire life use a lonely alien. And the only thing that I really remember about lonely aliens is was somebody did this huge thread way back in the day. They sold a CryptoPunk that was like 60 ETH and swept the absolute hell out of the floor of lonely aliens. And I've still never seen anything from that, but hell yeah. Yo, Pony Boys with that one bitty. Hell yeah, Bruce. Thank you so much. Okay, so Z Suite revolutionizes finance. Everybody uses the word revolutionize. Do they actually? Absolutely not. Introduces world's first Web 4 platform. What the hell is Web 4? Merging crypto, Web 3, and merchant services. Z Suite Technology proudly announces the launch of Z Suite, the first of its kind Web 4 financial platform that marries cryptocurrency, Web 3 functionalities, and traditional merchant services into a single streamlined interface. This modern medium, which gives a new trend in financial technology such as decentralized wallet and integrated checking account. This is pretty wild. I'm going to kind of jump to the end here and of one of my tabs, and I saw this on my timeline. I don't really care what the hell you guys are interested in politically or whatnot, but there was all these posts that are starting to pop up about the crypto crackdown. I forget the exact word for it, but Customers was one of the biggest pro-crypto banks out there. Fed and FDIC are systematically dismantling all crypto-friendly banks, one after the other. So there's all these reports of banks getting scrutinized, shut down, all these other things that are kind of crazy. Gabor saying, can confirm the effort restarted in March. Bank regulators are quietly threatening bank CEOs and CCOs to shut down crypto companies and activities. They threaten with investigations and fines, all outside regular and formal process. This is from what I heard. So again, there's a huge political debate going on saying, oh, what party's for this? And again, I'm not in the States or anything, but it is very interesting to watch and see the different narratives, which we'll get to one in a second. But the thing yesterday of like Trump's kid being like, hey, everybody's going to love crypto. Well, it sounds like they're launching a token, which is exactly what everybody didn't want to have happen. It's unbelievable. Yo, disclosure, what's going on? Gary Network, I feel like we looked at that one before, good sir. If I remember correctly, I feel like we looked at it, or maybe I looked at it after. I don't know. You remember? I feel like I remember on that. But very interesting that we're seeing Web 4 popping up on the timeline. Ooh, I would say once again, because I feel like I've heard that before, but now that I think about it, I don't know if I actually have. Z Suite is setting the new standard in financial technology by bridging the gap between digital currencies and traditional banking, providing our users with unprecedented flexibility and security in their financial transactions. Okay, so relating back to what we just talked to with the traditional bank issue with this one of, okay, this is Web 4, it is kind of just the stepping stone pattern that we're starting to see. Right. And so over time, the more adoption, the more people that are like, hey, we want to do something within the space, the more options open up. And again, the only regulations that seem to have some issues are within the United States. And again, this is global. Chance saying invite codes honestly are a pretty cooked onboarding and marketing mechanism. For anybody that doesn't know, basically there was a time where if you had a stats platform for crypto, for NFTs that gave you different insights, sometimes there was an opportunity where you could go and check to see the NFT reveal before it actually had revealed from certain technologies and whatnot. And there was a invite code as an example of, okay, you can use this website if you have an invite code, or it's a new decentralized messaging app. And oh yeah, you guys could join it if there's an invite code, but you need to get one, or so you got to post about it. You got to ask somebody if there's FOMO across the timeline. Okay, that's something, but it's like, you know what I mean? So imagine gatekeeping people that are your most interested users, focused on asking if they could and never stop to ask if they should. Just give me access. I am never coming back after you gatekept me. I don't know what they're referencing, but I remember back in the day, that stuff was absolutely awful. And as we mentioned a second ago, DC Investor, this was yesterday or the day before, saying, not going to lie, I'm going to be angry if the plan was to get us excited by Trump supporting crypto, i.e. I love crypto and I'll buy Bitcoin, only so the bros could do a rug a few weeks later. And again, I haven't really paid attention too much to it because I've been busy today, but there was apparently all these tokens that started saying, oh, we're like the official Trump token. And then they came out and made an announcement saying that they weren't. Those things went to zero. There's all these questions of big individuals within the space that have access to certain things. I mean, every day, dude. Every day it's something different. Anywho, Michael Saylor is saying he personally owns more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Holy smokes. Calio, bullish on NFTs here. Listen, I'm just saying we're starting to see people flip a little bit more. We had a big sweep as of yesterday, which we'll get to in just a second. I'm one of the crazy people that still believe NFTs will have another major run this cycle. I'm of agreement to it, but I feel like it's going to be in very specific areas. It's not necessarily going to be the entire market as it was, because then the supply and demand, again, supply was very little, demand was massive, and so any sort of supply out there went up. Now that is that is not the case. Think back to late summer, early fall of 2020. At the beginning of last bull market, NFTs were irrelevant. Punks hadn't done anything significant yet. Finding the next DeFi play was the only thing anyone cared about. It wasn't until well after Bitcoin was in price discovery that you started to see things like Top Shot take off. Eventually, that led to Mint Meta, which onboarded an entire new wave of participants into the crypto market. Art appreciators will inevitably return. It just needs a small catalyst, and eventually the rest will take care of itself. And I guess for yesterday, when we highlighted the Magic Eden stimulus potential, again, that's a catalyst. The Ripple settlement, one could argue maybe that's a catalyst, but again, it doesn't seem like the traditional NFTs that are released around ETH are very well connected to anything going on with Ripple. We'll find out. Spare a Bitcoin for you, boy. Spare a Bitcoin. Have you met my man Rodney Mullins? Good to see you, brother Pony. NFTs will never come out. Maybe. But we got to, listen, we have to fight the good fight. You know what I mean? Whale.swoosh saying the Blast token is down bad, and we know that, but we don't talk enough about how down bad the Blast NFTs are. Many Blast NFTs were held up by airdrop farming and have since experienced a decline for the history books. The best example, Blastopian. So it's hilarious because outside of Captain Company and Trying to think if there's anything else. Boomer came on a few times to talk about Blast, but I think apart from Cap and Company and talking with Boomer, the only thing that I ever made content-wise regarding Blast was actually highlighting Blastopians. It was a short. If you scroll back a little bit, you can end up finding it, but it was funny because almost all these NFTs, and there was like a Blast Penguins one as well, they all said, oh, we're going to allocate tokens to our NFT holders. All these other things, you go on the website, it's your traditional, okay, here's some profile pictures with like a first name that's attached to it saying CEO, and you're like, all right, this feels like a little bit weird. But obviously, you know, things have been interesting. The NFT space, again, where is the actual value that people want out of these things? Half the time, it's just airdrops. Now, with that said, talking about value, the Blue Jays yesterday, they had a George Springer, like, hockey jersey giveaway. These people were out in the beating sun for 4 hours before first pitch. I mean, sorry, even before like the gates opened. That is absurd. Half of them probably didn't wear sunscreen. They're all dehydrated as hell. Hopefully they got to be able to resell the hockey jersey. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's why they're there, unless they just want to keep it. But there's always resellers and everything. Okay, so yesterday, happy birthday to you. Fluff World hitting their 3rd birthday. Yeah, not bad, not bad. So we had some fireworks that ended up happening with this, and I'm still scratching my head a little bit about this. So somebody swept Fluff's, true story, by the way. They were sitting at 0.23, maybe like 1 to 2 sales a day, maybe a weef here and there. But, you know, generally speaking, not very exciting. All of a sudden, somebody comes in and just absolutely sweeps the floor all the way up to an ETH. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, like if you're going to make a big sweep, right? And you're going to do it on, and do we call it like an illiquid? Yeah, I mean, like NFTs are pretty illiquid that way. An illiquid asset that doesn't have a whole lot of buyers. Why in the hell are you sweeping everything like 4x the floor without, you know, maybe like double the floor? Like, okay, take it up to like 0.5 or something, right? I mean, even that's not double, right? But you get it to like 0.45 or something, throw in a whole bunch of bids, kind of organic or whatnot, but nope, we swept like $100,000 worth of fluffs. Everybody's talking about it on the timeline. It's great. Today we wake up and the floor's back to 0.41. Son of a gun. But that's okay. Listen, that's okay. Either way, kind of crazy. Now, what's kind of more interesting about this is there was a couple of happenings that occurred where I am, okay, listen, there's all these other things going on. We still got, okay, guys, where's the thread? There we go. Okay, so the weird thing with this, and Shara always talks about like timing is everything, and at this point, I'm like, okay, maybe she knows what she's talking about, because basically the same time the Fluff World 3rd birthday tweet goes out, the XRP settlement ends up happening, or I don't know if we call it a settlement. So Judge Torres has ruled that Ripple XRP must pay $125 million in civil penalties and stop any further violations of securities laws, putting an end to the nearly 4-year legal battle it fought with the SEC per Fox. The SEC had initially requested a penalty of $2 billion from Ripple, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is great. Because again, for anybody that doesn't know, the idea with Fluffs and their attachment to the root network is that utility, its whole purpose is to take advantage of the massive liquidity within XRPL connected to everything EVM. Like it's supposed to be basically a huge supercharge of that. So I was like, damn, is this tweet because of the Fluff World 3rd birthday? Because that tweet went out like at the same time, or was it because of the Ripple settlement? Trader Pops, just a matter of time until our party bearers and seekers blast off like Team Rocket. Hell yeah. And so XRP ended up pumping over 20% at the time that announcement went out. We're like, oh my goodness, that is a massive catalyst. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO, says the SEC asked for $2 billion, and the court reduced their demand by 94%, recognizing that they had overplayed their hand. We respect the court's decision and have clarity to continue growing our company. This is a victory for Ripple, the industry, and the rule of law. The SEC's headwinds against the whole of the XR community are gone. And then there was a Brazil regulator approves the launch of world's first spot SOL ETF. But we're being bullish. True. true. That's very exciting to see and kind of neat. Now, at the same time as the Fluf third birthday, we're getting a whole bunch of tweets going out. They're highlighting the Fluffs Unleashed. We saw them do a highlight before where they've created all the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, and they're going to have a claim for the avatars. Yuga's done their own, but Futureverse also jumping into that and now doing it with the Fluffs, which is very, very exciting. And then we're seeing Shen kind of commenting on some of the things, saying trading Fluffs with XRP. Again, if you look at the XRP NFTs, is there any one that's classified as, you know, the XRP NFT? On ETH, you call it CryptoPunks. On Solana, I think we call it Mad Lads, unless you go for like Solana Monkey Business or one of like those earlier collections out there. I don't really know. You got to tell me. Say's got different ones, right? But what's the top one for XRP? Is it going to be the Fluffle? Potentially. Either way, very excited to see what's going on with that. And we got our teaser of what the actual in-game footage looks like from Readyverse. Hell yes. So that's kind of a quick teaser for it. And one thing that I'm starting to kind of realize, you know what I mean? One thing that I'm starting to realize a little bit is that there is a massive opportunity to have just experiences online, where again, you look at that and you be like, all right, chill. Like, I'm expecting a game that looked like you're just walking around an open field. I'm like, okay, I agree with you. However, we noticed, or at least I noticed when I did the Project Dragon and I went on some spaces afterwards, and Project Dragon was the, I guess like play test that Yuga had recently showing their other side world. There's a lot of people that just like don't game. They have computers. They're, you know, some people went out there and bought gaming computers to do things within Web3, but they don't even game, right? And so we're going to have fast-paced games. We're going to have slower-paced games. We're going to have a little bit of everything in there. And those IP integrations will be very interesting, but it seems a lot of stuff is going on within the entirety of Fluf. He just said N.Game, the best NFT ever. True. Now, going back to 2023, there are Thingy Alpha, at least from art, at least I thought. So I have a gold backpack thingy, and it minted this, and I was like, okay, this has got basically 3 rings on it. It's kind of, you know, hidden a little bit behind there with it was, but you have the ice, all this kind of other stuff. And I was like, damn, if you've ever seen the Rings of Power, the Balrog scene, this is kind of like the flames, the evil, the 3 rings of the elves within there. Okay, I can see it. This other one, listen, it's the planet that's the casino in Ready Player One. We minted that. Hell yeah. And then Jyn Erso. If you've ever seen Star Wars Rogue One, when they have Jyn Erso hide from the evil empire that's coming to, I don't know, take away the dad or whatever, this is an absolute spitting image of it. So it's fun looking through that stuff. I haven't seen Thingy Alpha in quite some time. But going over to a thread here by Alex, who is the community head at Futureverse, 3 years old. Wow, it's crazy to look back on everything we've done over these last 3 years. So I want to take a moment to reflect on the journey to date and those who made it all possible. It all started when I arrived back in New Zealand and reconnected with Brooke, and who soon introduced me to the visionary that is Aaron, and we formed Non-Fungible Labs. Meanwhile, on the side, I reconnected with my old friend and creative genius, Jesse Metcalf, and we launched Pixel of the Apes. For a while, I was juggling these 2 projects separately, but it quickly became apparent that we need to bring Jesse's creative force into Non-Fungible Labs, and this is what Pixel of the Apes look like. Yeah, Rodney Mullins. From there, Aaron McDonald set us a challenge. Look at the current state of the NFT market, and this is early to mid 2021, and make something cooler. So we got to work. We looked at PFP projects, we looked at 3D projects, which there were very few of at the time. We looked at music projects, and we asked ourselves how we could raise the bar for this industry. Jesse came through with a dozen different ideas, but one of them, inspired by his pet rabbit foe, caught our imagination. Yo, is this like the original Fluff? Nah, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. But we didn't just want to make static PFPs. If all this was heading towards the metaverse, why would our characters be flat and lifeless? So we made them 3D, but if they're 3D, they should be moving. So we made them dance to a collection of unique music produced by our mate, Fairfields. And thus Fluff World was born, a collection of 10,000 digital rabbits living on the blockchain. I remember the build up to Mint Day, the countless hours spent building the foundation of our community in Discord and Clubhouse rooms when they were still a thing. The excitement was palpable. I could see it all coming together, but nothing could prepare me for what came next. Fluff World launched the 8th of August 2021, 3 years ago today. Despite some technical difficulties which delayed the launch and birthed the 30 men's max meme, soon the Mint was live and sold out within an hour. And again, think of the craziness that was way back in the day. Unbelievable. So we got to work building. We launched the underground and scene and sound swapping, gave out thingies to fluff holders, and launched party bears and burrows. We supported Alter State Machine and Silo on their launches, and we grew our team faster than we could have ever imagined. Yo, look at the whole team. Holy sheesh. Since then, we've helped launch over 30 collections, both in the Fluff World ecosystem and with our partner projects. With the help of our incredible community, we've raised and donated over 1.5 mil to charity. We've thrown some epic parties with Fluff House, including this mind-blowing event at South by Southwest, which will forever be one of the greatest parties I ever attended, let alone helped organize. In fact, it was this moment standing side of a stage with my best friend Jesse looking on at what we had created that this is the best moment of my life so far. We partner with some of the biggest brands and celebrities in the world, but our journey as non-fungible labs could only take us so far, and thus Futureverse was born. Bringing 11 different companies together under Futureverse was a Herculean task, but under the visionary leadership of Aaron and Shara, empowered by Marco's tech wizardry and the incredible team of approximately 250 staff we onboarded, I am more confident than ever that we are on the right path to help shape the future of the internet for the better. Okay, there's a whole lot more to that, but my goodness, what a long thread and what a W. Not bad, not bad. Which I was there for that photo. I'm in that photo. Wait, for that, you're in that photo. Wait, what photo? Are you talking about like at South by Southwest? Were you there? Yo, Zed, were you there? Hell yeah. Unless you're talking about this one. Do you hold anything at all in Top Shot? Yo, V Clampin', what's going on? A little bit, not really. It's weird watching the timeline talk about things that were kind of problematic years ago. Still, it's awesome that so many people are still on the platform, but no, I don't hold a ton as of current time, but you never know. Okay, we don't want more of that. Okay, so the other news that was kind of like, what the hell is going on here, is PacMoon. So PacMoon was a meme coin that was launched on Blast. It got attention out the wazoo. People were hella bullish on that, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing stuff on the timeline, which Lambo Land is the, just says growing PacMoon, so he's a part of the team, saying, we are leaving Blast. The last 6 months have been some of the best moments of my life, and also the worst. I'll never forget when we pulled an all-nighter for our launch, or when Beeple made his first PacMoon every day. But building on Blast has always been an uphill battle for us. We think that tokens, community, and culture are what make blockchain successful. However, Blast never focused on that. In fact, they created a system where native tokens on Blast are actively disincentivized, and they provided zero social support. We love the community we created, and we want to continue this journey. If you hold Pac token, burn it now. We will airdrop you Army on Solana. Okay, so my big thing with this, and we'll get to some other people's take on it as well, is it doesn't matter what these people are picking on chains, because like, so many of them are just not sticking with what they originally had said. Right? Like this is starting to not be uncommon anymore, which at a point it really was rare. It felt like, at least. And so seeing that, I'm like, okay, that's not great. Now, is this a dig on Blast? Is this a dig on the team itself? We'll go into it a little bit more. Bobby, who's the chief burn officer, saying, we are migrating to Solana, again on the PacMoon team. Over the past 2 months, we've been thinking about options, Ethereum, Solana, and Base. Every chain has its pros and cons. It is clear to us that Solana will continue being the #1 place for meme coins this cycle. Okay. Smoot saying Pac-Moon was a great meme coin for the pre-blast token generating event. I have no idea what the point of moving to a different chain is. It's not like a good meme or anything. Weirdly tried to build a whole dumb social gamification element. It was just right place, right time. Let it die. Balkus then saying, do we move Wolf Game from Blast over to Solana now? Who else is going to be joining the party? Boshi saying Pac-Moon is everything that is wrong about crypto. Literally created as an homage to Pac-Man, the creator of Blast. Blast gives them several massive lottery wins, so their holders get rewarded. After the free money is gone, they dip and leave the chain. Did we find the new Frank? Now, the dig on Frank, basically, what he's referencing is there's a collection that's called D-Gods. It originally launched on Solana, and then Polygon offered them like $3 million to bridge to there. They moved there. It didn't work out, or they decided against it, so then they moved back to Solana. I think it's like connected to Ethereum now, or so. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but that's what the reference is for. I don't know, man. Every single day, this space is just giving you some wild stories. Some horrible news out of the esports space here. Boston Breach, one of the Call of Duty League of Legends team, abruptly ceased operations, locking players and staff out of practice facility and apartments after tomorrow, leaving their team stranded with no notice. And it's a new low for esports org, says Ace. Now, this is pretty wild because Boston Breach, from my understanding, is owned by like the Kraft family, the same guys that do New England Patriots, et cetera, et cetera. So having this all completely shut down seems wild, but yeah, not great news within the esports industry. Now, talking about just video games in general, this guy's got some of the original Pokemon game stands in their house. Imagine the bragging rights of owning one of these beautiful displays in your place. We also got the Super Mario Sunshine ones as well. This person is sitting on absolute grails. Can you even put a price on these things? I don't know. I don't think so. Animoca Brands announcing that they are partnering with Lamborghini, another big name coming into the space, this time with Motorverse, again, not Futureverse, and we've had some back and forth about kind of trying to compare what Animoca is doing in general, but again, they're connected to pretty much everything within the space, so very interesting. The Lamborghini is joining through them. Now, I thought this was something that had already happened, but apparently it's just in. The U.S. judge has approved FTX's $12.7 billion repayment plan to creditors. The approval concludes a 20-month legal battle resolving FTX's financial obligations. So at the beginning of this stream, we talked about catalysts, we talked about stimulus, we talked about all those kind of things. Well, I mean, I don't know how fast this gets out there. But there's your stimulus, there's your catalyst, assuming those people are still excited about the space. You know what I mean? ApeChain X Sushi Swap. This one's kind of interesting. We are excited to announce that Sushi Labs will build the first native DEX, Saro X, on ApeChain. Saro means ape in Japanese, reflecting a commitment to the broader ape ecosystem. Now, I remember Sushi Swap from way back in the day. I feel like most people just use Uni. I didn't know Sushi was still like a big name regarding that. I mean, when you look at it, 369,000 followers on X. Again, not small by any means, but I definitely haven't seen it on my timeline comparatively to before, but very interesting. ApeCoin's getting some serious players in their network. Jesse saying Ethereum isn't dead or broken. You genuinely just don't understand it and where the space is going. We are going to have thousands of chains. Agreed. We'll have lots of specialized chains. Agreed. Most apps will become chains. Agreed. Likely very few generalized chains will, like what we have today, will exist. All these chains will be really easy to move between, just like moving between websites today. Those who only focus on Ethereum L1s are stuck in a short-term mindset of generalized chains and their relevance today. Okay, so goes on to some extra points and whatnot, but again, the Omni chain, every chain, listen, it's just it's a chain life. It's a hard knock life for us. Honestly, we might do a live stream of this. To be honest, let's do like a live react to it. Not Thread Guy Thread Guy, did a interview with Garga, the co-founder of Yuga Labs. I watched about like 5-6 minutes of this, and I was like, damn, like this is actually super interesting. Garga's pretty candid with everything, and just kind of a teaser at some point. We'll probably end up watching that. Okay, I got to upload this video. There's no issues, so if you guys are enjoying the stream and you're wanting to see the YouTube video here, make sure you got notifications on YouTube, or at least look for that in the next like 10-15 minutes. I got to do a little bit of the description aspect to it, but we're going to be cooking. We're going to be cooking. That's it for this edition of XFeed. I feel like we absolutely flew through everything. Thank you for sitting here through all this. My man Rodney Mullins, V Clampin, Zen, Trader Pops, Pony Boys, Divine Hypnotode, let him cook. Disclosure Crypto, I have no idea if you're still here, and LT.